Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Tuesday everyone. It is a gorgeous Tuesday here in Austin, Texas. It is the perfect temperature outside. I went outside this morning, finally got my Christmas decorations off the house and took care of that. Then I took my daughter out for lunch. We went to the park and played a little bit. In a little while, we're going to go have some fun at a trampoline park. It's a good day, guys. Hopefully you're out enjoying it. Hopefully you had a good weekend as well. This Sunday, there was the Golden Globes. Black Panther was nominated for several awards. I don't think it really won any. Honestly, I didn't watch the Golden Globes because I don't like the Golden Globes. I can get into more on that, but nevertheless, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won for Best Animated Feature when honestly, I think it deserved it. Granted, of course, it's the Golden Globes. I don't like them. I think they're a joke, but the fact that it got some recognition, I enjoyed. I really hope come Oscar nominations here in a couple weeks, they do get another nomination for Best Animated Film and hopefully win. I can't remember the other animated films that came out this year, but honestly, it was my favorite, I'm pretty sure at least. But anyway, guys, a couple of topics we're going to go through today. First off, I'm going to get into the Arrowverse Hottest Heroes Challenge finale. What happened, who won, all that stuff. I'm going to talk Young Justice Outsiders. That premiered Friday on the DC Universe streaming service. And then I'm going to top it all off with my top 12 movies I'm anticipating for the year of 2019. Okay, guys, so 2 weeks or more ago, I started the Arrowverse Hottest Heroes Challenge. It was just something stupid that I thought of because me and my friends who also watch the Arrowverse shows were talking about how hot the girls are and, you know, which one we would play that game, Fuck, Marry, Kill, with all of them on individual shows. So I decided while they're on break to do a little bit of a bracket challenge. One fan who had been voting even actually went and made the bracket. I didn't actually make a bracket, but somebody went out and actually made the actual bracket for the guys. So thank you for that. A lot of people voted on this stuff. I mean, I was hoping to get maybe 100 votes total per one, but there's one bracket, one poll that got like almost 2,000 votes, which is amazing considering I feel like nobody really listened to this show to begin with. So that was awesome. I appreciate everyone who voted, and it was definitely surprising. So to me, the surprising part was in the finale, we had 3 candidates that I never thought would actually make it this far. First off, we had in the male bracket, Leonard Snart, the number 8 seed in Legends of Tomorrow, come up and get in the finals, and Brainiac 5, the number, I believe, 5 seed for Supergirl. And then in the female bracket, we had the number 1 seed from Legends of Tomorrow, Sarah Lance, versus, I believe, the number 4 seed in the Supergirl bracket, Lana Luthor. So, what did it all come out to? Well, according to you guys, those who voted, the hottest heroes in the Arrowverse are Brainiac 5, and then in the girl bracket, Lana Luthor, both Supergirls. So, totally not expected. Like I said, I expected to go with Oliver Queen and Sarah Lance. Sarah made it to the finals. That's fun. It's been a lot of fun, though. It's a lot of fun doing this. I will say, though, I don't believe it. The thing that surprised me about this is how many Supergirl fans there are out there. Because if you look at all the votes before they combined into cross shows, just as shows in general, the Supergirl brackets got a lot more votes than those of the brackets of other shows. So that shows me that there are a lot of passionate Supergirl fans out there, which is great. Kudos to you. I'm glad you like the show. But the fact that Brainiac 5 won this boggles my mind. I personally do not believe for 1 second he's the hottest guy in the Arrowverse. Granted, of course, heterosexual male, but I'm comfortable enough to say he's not the hottest. Now, Lana Luthor, totally hot. I think she's hot. Is she hotter than Sarah Lance? Not in my opinion. Or some of the other girls? No, but that one I can live with. Brainiac 5 is a little bit harder to swallow. Also, Leonard Snart in the finals against Brainiac 5, a little harder to swallow as well. We didn't get Barry Allen or Oliver Queen, but you know what? I let the people decide, and the people have spoken. Or rather, Supergirl fans have spoken. So, nonetheless, guys, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for everyone who voted, and maybe next year I'll do it again, hopefully with a new cast of characters as the shows grow, and maybe next time we'll include Black Lightning. The Batwoman show has actually been greenlit at CW for a pilot, so maybe we'll throw that in there next year. I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys, and let's get on with the rest of the show. Okay, so Friday, the first 3 episodes of Young Justice Outsiders premiered on DC Universe. So DC Universe brought this show back, and I was so excited about it. Young Justice only got 2 seasons, and it is hands down one of my favorite superhero animated series of all time. You know, definitely goes in there with the X-Men animated series, goes in there with Batman animated series. I like it better than the Superman and Justice League animated series, which I both think are great. But this show does the characters and the stories so well, and it's just great. From the end of the first season, I was hooked. Season 2 was great, and it's been 5 years since this show has appeared. But now it's back by popular demand on the DC Universe, and the first 3 episodes premiered. So what they're going to do, they're doing 3 episodes per week. Pretty much you're going to get a little over an hour per week, almost like a mega episode, I guess you would say. And I'm super excited. I love it. I was so excited for it to come back. It was on my mind Friday all day to go home and watch it. And to be honest, it did not disappoint. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going spoilers, of course. So if you haven't seen the 3 episodes, too bad. Pause it, come back, listen to this later. Otherwise, I don't feel sorry for me spoiling stuff for you. But season 3 starts off, and it's 2 years since the events of Invasion, since you had the Reach leave Earth, and then you also had Vandal Savage hook up with Apocalypse at the end. And of course, the most notable thing about season 2 was the supposed death of Wally West. I say that, of course, because as a guy who's been reading comic books all his life and knows the DC Universe, nobody's ever gone. I mean, Wally West in the last couple of years most recently came back from the Speed Force. I have a feeling he's going to come back eventually, if not this season. I think maybe next season or the season beyond that, but I don't think he's ever truly gone because of the way he died. I mean, if someone gets stabbed or their head's cut off or whatever, I'll accept the fact that they're dead. But he got zapped out of existence by some mystical Speed Force thing. And that's just, you know, when there's magic and science involved and not just a clear-cut death, things are going to happen, and I have no doubt that he's going to come back eventually. But it's been 2 years, and the superheroes, the Justice League, the team, are still dealing with the fallout from Invasion. Of course, the big thing in Invasion was that the core members of the Justice League were on trial for events that they were forced to do by Vandal Savage 5 years beforehand, and they were put on intergalactic trial. And since then, members of the Justice League have been out in the universe trying to spread their goodwill, letting the universe know that they are a force for good. And in doing so, Black Lightning accidentally kills a teenager, a kid, who was a meta, who was a regular kid and got their powers activated and got sent off-world and got into a fight with the Justice League, and Black Lightning accidentally killed this kid. He felt sorry for it, and he, ends up quitting the Justice League, which I'll get to here in a minute. But we come to find out that on Earth, there is a metahuman traffic ring that is going on of people that are taking kids and activating their metagene to give them superpowers and then using them, and come to find out in the 3rd episode, they're shipping them off. Where are they shipping to? Apocalypse, which is where we last saw Vandal Savage shaking hands with Darkseid. And in the opening for this season, we see Earth, we see Apocalypse, and then we see like the strain of DNA. So we know the big overall story arc is going to be between Apocalypse and Earth. Basically, our heroes versus Darkseid and his forces, probably the Light thrown in there. Now, in regards to the Light, you have Lex Luthor, who took over the UN at the end of season 2, and we come to find out since then that he's made life more difficult for superheroes or the Justice League to do their jobs with sanctions. And almost like how in Civil War in the Marvel Universe, they wanted superheroes to go legit. They wanted them to go where the government tells them to go. Kind of the same thing to where they are telling the superheroes where they can and can't go without breaking international laws. It's kind of handcuffing them and almost making them useless on Earth. And in doing so, Batman, the guy that he is, quits the Justice League. He convinces Green Arrow and several other members to do so, but he also, because he's kind of the mentor to Robin, Tim Drake, you also have Spoiler in there, Batwoman, and Arrowette. She's in there as well. They all quit the team, actually, which you see at the beginning there, where Tim and Cassie, aka Wonder Girl, are still a couple, which we found out at the end of season 2. So they quit, kind of leaving the team kind of in shambles, and also the Justice League as well, where they have to now denounce these heroes because they can't be held responsible for what they do. But what's going on with our main characters? That's right, the original 6, now 5 actually, that we started off with in season 1. What's their deal? Well, starting off, Aqualad Calder is now Aquaman, actually. We learned this in an Entertainment Weekly article that Aquaman has gone back to rule Atlantis, and he was always prepping Calder to take his place as the representative of Atlantis in the Justice League. Now, in the UN, we find out that Garth, the other Aqualad from the comic books, is the Atlantis representative in the UN. Aqualad is not only Aquaman, but he's also leading the Justice League, which is huge, you know. He led the team for years. Now he stepped up to lead the Justice League, which I'm sure after his whole infiltration and spy mission with the Light during Invasion, all the other heroes got a lot of respect for him and what he did and how well he did it. So that's awesome. Megan and Connor back together again. Megan looks like she is embracing her White Martian roots to where she's not full White Martian look, but she looks more like herself, like a White Martian when she is with the team. But then Connor also proposes to her, which is awesome. Connor, you know, it's been 7 years since he was made or joined the team. Yeah, he still looks like, I think he's 17. And they explained in Invasion how he's really never going to grow, but consciously, as a person on the inside, he does mature and grow. And, you know, being in a relationship with a shapeshifter who can always look the same as well, that kind of is perfect. Artemis is still, you can tell, thinking about Wally, even though it's been 2 years. She's still kind of recovering from that. But she's living with her niece and her, I guess, brother-in-law, you would call him, the Roy Harper clone, Red Arrow, who is now going by Will, we learn. So there's that. But Nightwing, a.k.a. Dick, comes along and recruits her, Connor, and Black Lightning for a mission where he's been going around taking out metahuman trafficking and kind of get to the bottom of it all, which leads him to Sokovia. Not Sokovia. That's not where they're going. That's from Marvel. It's Markovia. That's what it is. Yes. But anyway, they're going to go bust up a metahuman traffic ring there, and they run into Count Vertigo, and the Prince, Brion, actually gets some metahuman powers as well. He helps him out. They find a young girl as well who was experimented on, who they thought was dead. Turns out she's not. Her character's going to be named Halo. She's got some cool like shield powers that look pretty awesome. So it was honestly, the 3 episodes were really cool. I was really impressed, as always, with the depth and what they're doing with these characters. And remember, like any storyline, it's not about the story, it's about the characters in the story. You have to feel what they're going through, you have to make them interesting, you have to put them on a journey, and I think the people who have made Young Justice and continue to do that, keep that in mind, which is why the show has been so successful. Now, I'm anxious to get into more deeper as far as what the heroes have been up to in these last 2 years and what the involvement is with Apocalypse and Darkseid. And that's definitely the whole big picture story. We've only got the first 3 episodes, so I'm sure we're getting a lot more to go on. I'm sure Markovia and the Prince are going to have roles to play in all of this, but after 5 years, this show is still great. It's still awesome. One of the best superhero shows. I would definitely put it above Flash, Arrow, Legend, Supergirl. I enjoy it way more than any of the Arrowverse shows. I'm sorry, I do. So I cannot wait for Friday for another 3 episodes. Then they're going on break for a little while and they'll come back later. That's fine. But Young Justice Outsiders, guys, if you have seen the first 2 seasons and have not checked this out, let me know. If you're a friend of mine, text me, hit me up, and I might be a good guy and give you my DC Universe account information. But we'll wait and see, guys, okay? But fire back in the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know what you think about it. Oh, also, one last thing before I stop talking about Young Justice. How cool were those contact lenses? Like, the things, and he was talking to Oracle Nightwing was. Very curious to see what's going on with Barbara there. If she's actual Oracle or still Batgirl, I don't know. But those contact lenses were awesome, and I need to get me a pair of those, definitely. Okay, now, for the rest of the show, I am going to run through. I went through last night, and I thought of my top 12 most anticipated films I want to see in 2019. Now, why is it not the top 10? Because 12 is my lucky number. 12 is what I go with, so I did 12 films. So I'm just going to briefly run through them real quick, tell you how excited I am about them, and you guys, of course, fire back and let me know what you think in the social media groups and Gmail account. Spoiler, I think you can pretty much guess what my number 1 and number 2 are, but here's the rest of them. So coming in at number 12, Men in Black International. I still remember going and seeing the original Men in Black film with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. It came out just before my birthday, around July 4th, when Will Smith ruled the July 4th box office. And my brother took me to see it for the second time in theaters because he was trying to keep me away from the house because my mom was planning a surprise birthday party for me, which, by the way, I hated surprise parties back then, so I wasn't too happy when I figured out what was going on. But anyway, I liked the Men in Black concept. I liked the first film. The second film was okay. The third film was nah. I do like the concept. I think it's a great concept. This one, you got Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. That's what it is. They're back on this one. They paired up for Thor Ragnarok. They're back for this one, directed by Gary F. Gray, who did Straight Outta Compton, The Fate of the Furious. Now, films like this that are part of a franchise that haven't had a good one in a while, I'm a little bit hesitant on. Gary F. Gray, I think he's a fine director. I don't think he's a great director, in my opinion, but you got a great cast with Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth has superior comedic acting chops. Watch Ghostbusters, watch the Vacation film, even Thor Ragnarok. He's got a great comedic timing, and I think he can pull it off. Really, is there anyone who doesn't believe, after watching that first trailer, that Tessa Thompson is not playing Will Smith's daughter or like little sister even in this? Because, I mean, just from the trailer, that's just the vibe I got. It's this character who's been searching down the Men in Black because she knows who they are. I totally get the vibe that she knows that, she is the daughter of Agent, what is it, K? Was that K? No, K was Tommy Lee Jones. J, that's what it was. Will Smith's Agent J. So that's what I think. Again, just a little hesitant. I like the concept. I like the first film, but these movies where they come out with a new one and try to reboot the franchise 20 plus years later rarely work out. The trailer was okay. I didn't love it, but I think it's got a good cast and a decent director behind it, so it could do well. But again, I'm a fan of the franchise and the concept, so we'll see how that one goes. Next up, another film I'm not super excited about. It's just more curiosity that has me, is Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Now, it's directed by Todd Phillips, who did comedies such as The Hangover and Old School. Old School, my favorite comedy of all time. And it's also got Robert De Niro, Zazie Beetz, Douglas Hodge, a lot of good cast in this film, and it's a standalone film. It's not part of the DCEU. It's kind of a Joker origin story. Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor, so I'm sure he's got some good stuff. Martin Scorsese is helping produce this film. I'm not a Joker fan. Not at all, actually. I think the character's good, but he's not my favorite or even my top 10 favorite villains in comic book history. But I can see this being something decent. I don't think it's my cup of tea in general. Again, like I said, because I'm not a big Joker fan, I'm definitely going to check it out and see what it's like. And again, it's just pure curiosity has got me on this one, guys. And we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, moving on to the next one. We got The New Mutants. Boy, oh boy, let's talk about this one. This was a film that was supposed to come out in April of last year. Then it got pushed back to November. Then it got pushed back a full year from its original release date, coming out August 2nd. It's even further back than what I originally thought. Part of the X-Men universe. You got a great cast in here. You got Macy Williams from Game of Thrones. Antonio Banderas is in here. Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things. It's got a decent cast, and I'm really anxious to see what's to come of it because it has some great X-Men characters such as Magic, Wolfsbane, Cannonball, Mirage. Characters that I think are really great in the comics that I've been waiting to see up on the big screen. It's going to be directed by Josh Boone, who most notably did The Fault in Our Stars, which honestly, I'm not a big fan of the teenage, films that are based off books or things like that. But out of them, that was probably the most bearable one I've watched so far. So, not too bad. They're giving up a horror vibe on this, is what they're saying. I don't know. I mean, I want to see it because it's an X-Men movie is really what it is, and I think it's got a good cast. But they keep kicking it down the road, and, you got the Fox, Disney deal looming. I could definitely see this one eventually just going straight to Netflix or even Disney Plus, something like that. But I am anxious to see it. It's set to come out in August. If that date changes, again, we'll just have to wait and see. Number 9 on my list, Captain Marvel. Tickets just went on sale for this Marvel Studio film. It's dual directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, who I am not familiar with at all, but it stars Brie Larson, Academy Award winner, great actress, and in the lead role as Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel. You got Jude Law. Samuel L. Jackson is back as a young Nick Fury. Lee Pace is back as Ronin. You also have Clark Gregg as Coulson. Ben Mendelsohn is going to be one of the villains. I am excited for this, definitely. It's a Marvel Studio film. Again, going back to Joker, I'm just not a big Captain Marvel fan. Now, Marvel Studios, to the most part, has never disappointed me. I'm coming off the high still of Infinity War. I'm so excited for Endgame. They finally got their female-led superhero film. Maybe it's been a little tarnished, I would say. Maybe tarnished isn't the right word, but not as hyped as it could be, given the fact that Warner Brothers got Wonder Woman out first. I think this film would have been a little more hyped if it was, but the fact that we know Captain Marvel is going to be in Endgame and maybe play a pivotal part could get it more excited. But again, looking forward to it. I haven't bought my tickets yet. I'll probably wait a little while to buy my tickets, but I am looking forward to see how this one's going to go. Number 8, Alita Battle Angel. Now, this is one that, again, the date was moved. Supposed to come out actually just a couple weeks ago, December 21st, in that row with Aquaman and Bumblebee. But it moved off the date. It actually bumped X-Men Dark Phoenix back to summer to move it to this one to February, which I think is great. It gives it little competition. But I tell you what, that last trailer they put out, every time I watch it, I like it more and more, especially the last couple times I've seen it on the big screen, and I am looking forward to this film more and more. My wife, who at first had no interest in this film, she's watched it, she's interested. You got Robert Rodriguez directing it, who has had some successes and some misses. Most notably is known for Sin City, From Dusk Till Dawn, Machete. He did all the Spy Kid movies as well. He's hit and miss, but this has also been kind of a passion project of James Cameron, who helped write and produce the film as well. He's working on his Avatar film, so he let Robert Rodriguez direct this one. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it. It looks so sci-fi goodness is what it is. Sci-fi goodness. I'm going to call it right there. It looks like it could be something really good. Of course, it could be really something bad, but I think it looks fun, guys. Fire back, let me know what you think. Next up, Spider-Man Far From Home comes out July 5th. This will be the first Marvel Studios or MCU film after Avengers Endgame. Of course, we don't know what to expect really, given the fact that we don't know how Endgame is going to, quote, end. We know from brief descriptions that perhaps Peter Parker is going to leave New York, maybe go on some field trip around the world. Zendaya is coming back to help co-star as well. Honestly, we don't know what to expect. I mean, it's kind of already assumed that him, along with Black Panther and all the other heroes who disappeared or got dusted at the end of Infinity War, are going to come back anyway. So, curious to see how they're going to market this film before Endgame, because it comes out only 2 months or so after Endgame, and you got to put out at least one trailer before then. I honestly would expect a Spider-Man Far From Home trailer around the time Captain Marvel comes out, and maybe even that's when we get our second Endgame for Avengers trailer. But it's Spider-Man. I enjoyed Homecoming, and we'll wait and see how this one goes. Number 6 on my list is the newest Hellboy remake that comes out in April. Man, April is going to be so busy, I tell you what. But this one is going to be directed by Neil Marshall, who did such horror films as The Descent and Doomsday. And it's going to be starring David Harbour from Stranger Things as the title role Hellboy. You got Mila Jovovich. Did I say that right? I doubt I did, but she's going to be the villain. You got Ian McShane in there as well. We've got our first trailer for this one, and honestly, it was decent. It's really got the same kind of feel as the last one that starred Ron Perlman. Mike Mignola, who created the character, helped write this one as well. And I like the character of Hellboy. I've read some comics. I enjoy the character. I don't love him, but I like the world he lives in. This seems very similar to that, so I'm looking forward to this one. Number 5, Shazam, starring Zachary Levi, comes out April 5th. And I gotta say, a lot of people have doubted this film because of Zachary Levi, but he's the reason I am so excited about it. David S. Sandberg is going to be directing it. Now, he's most known for directing Lights Out. I'm not familiar with the film. Honestly, I didn't watch it. I did not watch it. All I know is they pitch it as big with superpowers, and having watched Zachary Levi for years in the show Chuck, I think he's perfect. I think he's perfect for this role, and again, he's why I'm so excited. The film also has Mark Strong as our villain. After the success of Aquaman, and kind of seeing the different tone and the different direction the DCEU or what Warner Brothers is doing with their DC films, I'm more excited for Shazam. You know, I was semi-excited for it. Now I'm more excited because after seeing Aquaman and knowing that it only builds towards the hype and what they're doing and the direction they seem to be going with their films from now on. So I'm excited for Shazam. Let me know if you are too. Number 4 on my list, X-Men Dark Phoenix. I'm kind of disappointed this isn't further up, but, you know, I've been hearing things. You know, this film has been moved several times as well. So it's one of those that I want to be so good, but I have this deep fear that it might not be. We got a trailer for it already. The trailer looked decent. Wasn't great, but decent. The thing about it is, we've already seen the Dark Phoenix saga up on the big screen in X-Men Last Stand. Was not great. This one is being directed by Simon Kinberg, who has never directed a film before. He's written and produced a lot of stuff. He's written and produced a lot of X-Men stuff, but he's never directed before. He knows the characters, but it's different between writing and directing. Some people say he's doing good. Some people say it's doing bad. I honestly don't know, but it's set to come out. Let's see, it's in summertime. When is it? June 7th, okay? My fear is that with this franchise, what they did in Apocalypse and what they've been doing so far is putting the stars above the story. You have Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. You have Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Neither one of those characters were anywhere near the original Dark Phoenix storyline. Of course, you have James McAvoy as Professor X, you got Nicholas Hoult as Beast, and those are kind of your four main actors and actresses for this X-Men franchise. Sophie Turner is going to be very key given the fact that she is playing the Phoenix in this one. I think Ty Sheridan, who plays Cyclops, my boy Cyclops, you know how much I love Cyclops, is going to be key as well. Their relationship has to be the centerpiece of all of that. I honestly don't know. Jessica Chastain, who is beautiful and I am semi in love with, she's in this as well. She's just listed as Smith on IMDb. Not sure what she's going to do, but I think she's going to have some of a villainous role. A lot of other people are coming back, but man, I just don't know. I want it to be good. I just don't know. And given the fact this is probably going to be the last X-Men film we see before the Disney-Fox merger, reboot, whatever they're planning to do with it, I just want it to be good. I just want to see a good Dark Phoenix story, and I'm definitely nervous, but it's X-Men, so I am excited about it. And you would think that Dark Phoenix would be number 3 on my list, but there's one film I'm anticipating more, which is Toy Story 4. It's been many years since Toy Story 3. Toy Story 4 comes out June 21st, and I hear nothing but good things. I grew up on the Toy Story franchise. I was, I think, in 6th grade when the original one came out. I've seen all of them in theaters. I think they're great films. Toy Story 3 being the best one. Who would have thought the third one in the franchise being the best one? Unheard of. Completely unheard of. But it is. It's a great film. And I'm looking forward to Toy Story 4. Everyone's coming back, and I don't know what to expect, but I expect I'm going to cry, I'm going to laugh, and I'm going to walk out so satisfied of this film. And number 1 and number 2, you could have guessed it very easily. I don't know if you would have guessed the right order, but number 2, Star Wars Episode 9, and number 1, Avengers Endgame. Yes, I'm anticipating and looking forward to Avengers Endgame more than I was Episode 9. Now, the previous films, The Last Jedi and Infinity War, I gotta say, of course, I loved Infinity War much more. I still like The Last Jedi. I'm not one of those Last Jedi haters. There's some stupid petition about where, like, they've almost reached their goal. They almost reached their goal about getting The Last Jedi out of Star Wars canon. Are you kidding me? You really think Lucasfilm and Disney is going to listen to that? Petitions like that are so stupid, and the people who actually think they're going to mean anything, I'm just naive. I mean, come on, guys. Think, McFly. Think. Anyway, Episode 9 closes out the trilogy, and honestly, this is probably going to be our last Star Wars film for a while. Originally, Disney and Lucasfilm said we were going to get one once a year, but after the Civil War that is The Last Jedi of Star Wars fans, not to mention the disappointing numbers for Solo, think they're taking it easy for a while. They're going to focus more on their TV with Mandalorian, Clone Wars, Resistance, and the Cassian Andor series. They're going to focus more on that, I think. I think it's going to be a couple more years before we see actually another Star Wars film. Probably 2021 is what my guess is, I think, is when it's going to be. That's just my guess. I think is the next time. I'm still super excited for Star Wars Celebration. Still super excited for Episode 9 and to see how it's all going to end. I want to see a great battle between Rey and Kylo Ren to finish it all off. I'm still excited for it, but Avengers Endgame, guys, man, this, Infinity War was bringing everything for 10 years together, and this is finishing it off. I cannot believe my excitement. I've never been a big Avengers guy either, too, I know the Avengers. I don't read a lot of Avengers comic books, but, man, the MCU is everything that I have wanted since I was a kid in superhero films. The way they have brought different titles together as one big event and just made it awesome. Again, making it about the characters, feeling the emotions. Thanos turned out to be a great villain. It's amazing. And the fact that we have Kevin Feige running everything. We have the Russo brothers, who are great filmmakers. The writers, I forget their names, but they're a writing duo that have been working with the Russo brothers ever since Winter Soldier. I can't wait for this film. I cannot wait for Avengers Endgame. But number 1 and number 2, Episode 9 and Endgame, you can be sure those are the 2 films that as soon as tickets go on sale, I don't care if I have nothing in the bank account. I'm buying tickets right away for both the first night and the second night for both of those films. Much like I did with Infinity War and Last Jedi, I saw opening night and then I saw it the very following night. Again, I like to watch films twice before I give my clear thoughts on it. But there you go, guys. My top 12 films I'm anticipating in 2019. What are your top 12? What are your top 5? What are just a couple that you really are looking forward to? Let me know. Fire back on the Facebook group and Twitter account, of course, dayspringdiscussing@gmail.com. And that's it for me, guys. Go out, enjoy the rest of your day. If you have something you want to talk about, please do so. Hit me up on the social media groups and let's discuss it. Until next time, may the Force be with us all.